sports fan who watches ESPN will remember sports anchor Sage Steele. During the height of the pandemic, ESPN's parent company, Disney, implemented vaccine mandates for all employees. Steele got the vaccine against her will to keep her job, like millions of other people in this country did. Shortly after, she spoke out on a podcast calling the mandates sick and was sidelined by the network executives for that move. Removed from primetime assignments, Steele then sued ESPN and Disney for violating her First Amendment rights. That lawsuit was just settled, and Steele has decided to officially leave ESPN for good, and she joins me tonight to talk about all of this. Sage, it's wonderful to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with your decision to leave ESPN and how you came to that decision and everything that happened.
How much time do you have? I'll just say this. I would never have dreamt of it ending this way. I was a little girl, Rob. I was 11 years old when I announced to my parents I wanted to be a sportscaster. And then when I got to high school in Carmel, Indiana, and then college at Indiana University, like everyone knew my dream was ESPN. And it took about 11 years, the first 11 years of my career in local and regional news and sports networks. And then got to ESPN in 2007, and it was a dream. Listen, I have zero regrets about anything I said, anything that happened in the years leading up to my departure a week ago, because I literally had the best job in the world. I loved it until the very last day I was on the air. I was proud of myself for separating, what was going on behind the scenes and legally from my job itself. But it just, when you're backed into a corner, you have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, you do.
It's not like it was the first time.
No.
And it had just kind of piled up. And I said this the other day, everybody has a line, and you don't really know what your line is until it's crossed. And I knew after I was forced to do a shot that I didn't want to do to keep my job, and then punished for having an opinion about the mandate, even though I complied. So at that point, I couldn't be quiet anymore. And obviously they didn't like that.
And it's their loss, because you were fantastic on ESPN. You're very good at what you do. I want to talk about vaccines for a moment here, because it is, you took the jab to keep your job initially, something that a lot of people had to do. What's so interesting about these mandates in this country and vaccines in general is that you become an immediate pariah the moment that you ask any questions. Robert F. Kennedy is a great example of that. Why do you think that is? And what has happened at ESPN where they are? It's a full-blown indoctrination over there in so many different ways.
I don't know. Honestly, I wish I knew. All I do know is that over the last several years, I think it probably started in 2016 with the election. It's felt different. I've been there since 2007, so I've experienced so much greatness, frankly. And it isn't just ESPN and Disney, obviously, that had the mandate, and which is what I said kind of that got me in trouble initially. But I don't know what happened. I don't know that I really care anymore, because at the end of the day, every company, every leader has decisions to make, and they made those decisions and they chose to force it. The ironic thing is that about 3 weeks after I took the shot to keep my job, I got COVID. I got it bad. I was upstairs in my room, like I couldn't move. It was actually really scary. So that was happening at the same time that I'd been taken off the air and was suspended and didn't know if I'd have a career. And like I said, I was sick. So there was a lot that was involved in it. But all I know is that for me, it was the right decision at that moment to take it to keep my job.
Sure.
It made me sick.
Yeah.
Part of me will never forgive myself for caving.
Yeah.
But I have 3 college-age kids. I'm doing this on my own financially. I'm a single mom, and I didn't have a choice. I think that is what breaks my heart, and that's why I spoke out, even though I thought I was being respectful as well as complying. And my why now is in hopes that other people don't have to make the decision that I had to make to end a dream. I never wanted to leave. I wanted to be there for the rest of my career. So I just hope that by being open about it, that others don't have to make the decision.
Terrifying to see, how quickly we've moved into this kind of political corporate orthodoxy in this country, where they just want to control. And the moment that you break from their control, look at how they just laid the hammer down on you at a company as big as Disney and ESPN. That's terrifying to most people, and you've been through it.
breaks my heart. It
Yeah.
really breaks my heart
Yeah.
because, again, at the end of the day, they weren't. All I asked for was consistency. You know, like
Yeah.
if I can give an opinion about this, I should be able to. If everyone else is giving a million opinions about a million different topics that are quite frankly more controversial and have zero to do with sports as well.
Right.
So I just wanted consistency, and that's where the issue lied.
Again, I say their loss. You're so good at what you do. You were great on ESPN. It's BS, and you and I both know it. Sage, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.